Hello, and welcome to the podcast that discusses all things gaming. Coming to you from the home of Indie PopCon, Gen Con, and the gaming capital of the world, we are the Established Facts.
Hello, one and a couple, or one and all, however many of you are listening. Welcome to the Established Facts, episode 206. 206 episodes, yeah, I know. The funny thing about that, though, is that we're looking forward to the time when Saving the Game surpasses us, because they are in the 160s now. So, look forward to congratulating when that happens. But we got a little bit of a smaller table today, so we're going to do a couple short episodes for you since we took some time off and thought we'd just give you some of our viewpoints, and you can take them as you so desire. To my right,
Dr. Deb.
And I'm Avital.
And this is Josh, if you hadn't figured that out. Probably should have said that first, but oh well.
That's a small table.
What's a small table? Just the
not
three of
this
us?
table. This table is quite big, but no, the three of us is a small round table discussion.
It is always funny watching two or three people try and play a game at Tablezilla by Carolina Game Tables.
Yes. A lot of stretching involved, but yeah. You feel like you're the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Little arms.
This would be better if we had a visual for the
It would. But they can close their eyes
all flailing.
and imagine us all flailing our arms toward the middle of a great big table. And yeah, there you go. You're here.
Yeah, welcome. It's funny when you think about what kind of Avital just described there with the stretch of the hands and the intricacies that should require from a visual perspective. It just makes me think of the Fogo trips before Gen Con. Everything's family style, and apparently at Tablezilla you have to play games family style.
Yes.
Hey, can you pass me that boardwalk, please?
Yes. No, I don't feel like passing the boardwalk. I think I want to keep it myself.
But I just paid for it.
But that would be Fogo, because someone's like, yes, and as I'm going to take the mashed potatoes from you as I pass them to you down
Correct.
the line.
And the cheese bread that's apparently gluten-free. Yeah, fun
no,
fact.
I want to go to Fogo.
Cool.
Well, okay. That's worse things. Check out Fogo to Show.
There you go.
I do, but not right now. I just ate.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Us too.
Reasonable, but... What
Anyways,
were we talking about?
Well, I mean, the board.
Nothing yet.
I was trying my darndest to get us into the flow with the boardwalk reference. Some of you may have noticed when you were listening to this earlier that there was about 3 minutes of dead space. Turns out we had a problem with the recording, but so that it doesn't sound completely like we're coming out of nowhere, we started to talk about Zombicide and how we thought the game of Zombicide was a great option as an RPG. And as a result, my wife's going to pick up talking about shotguns. So, gotta love the wonders of the tech world.
Here's your sawed-off shotgun, and here's your, you get a chainsaw, and you're a farmer, so you got your shovel. Rolling backstory would probably be really fun with that, because maybe you grew up in Kansas and you're fantastic with a rifle, and this dude over here was part of a gang, and so he's way better. Maybe he's really good with just hand-to-hand punch-em combat, and yeah, I think it would be a really neat idea. I think experienced gamers could have fun with it. Some of the subtleties of interaction, subtleties of who's going to be in charge of this particular cell. You could have multiple cells that are trying to work together, and maybe that's going well, maybe that's not going so well.
So are you envisioning these more as a story you'd like to tell that is role-playing system agnostic? You don't really care what role-playing system it is as much as you'd like to live that story?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. I'm not really picturing it in like a Pathfinder or a Quags. I'm not really. I'm just imagining that playing in the story itself would be really neat. Okay. You have tons of opportunities. You have opportunity for tragedy. You have opportunities for, really cool. I don't know. Maybe you can even go for the scientific. Maybe there's a scientific breakthrough if you do something incredible and we're like 320s in a row to figure out how to cure it, but it's really hard to cure being a zombie.
Well,
maybe you can cure it. I don't know.
Say now you're talking pandemic.
Well, pandemic is over there.
I know.
So now you've merged them together. Now you've merged them together. So you move from one into the other. Look at that.
Yeah.
So
you merge Zombicide and Pandemic together. You call it Resident Evil, and you move on. That's what just happened. So just to be clear,
Yeah.
we're not talking about rules mechanics. We're talking about a story that you would like, how
would be
you would
fun to
envision a
play it.
role-playing game story based off your favorite board game.
yes. Now, Zombicide is actually not my favorite board game, but it was the one that I gravitated to because I can see that it would be pretty easy, obviously, because they're doing a Kickstarter with it.
Well, I think
which
we can
I did
do-
not know.
I think we can do a couple each, but it gives us kind of an opportunity to go around.
So I'll
the
pick a
table.
harder one for the next one. But Zombicide, I feel like would be one. Like I kind of just want to start thinking about character right now, even though this role play game doesn't exist yet, because I think it'd be really neat. I definitely think you could even LARP that, which I'm not a LARPer, but I would think LARPing could be kind of fun.
Oh yeah, like
I'm looking at our resident LARPer.
post-apocalyptic, like LARPing is a thing, and like honestly, costuming for post-apocalyptic stuff is really fun because really you can kind of go like anywhere that you want to with it.
Yeah.
Like it really just kind of depends on your character. Like, all right, so and how long it's been
Right.
post-apocalypse.
Post-apocalypse,
Like
yeah.
how beat up are you in your what
Right.
you're wearing, things like that. How much
Right.
have you had to scrounge? How
Yep.
much of it is like what you already had?
Right.
You know, like the Zombieland 2
Yes.
is coming out.
Double
And-
tap.
Yeah, double tap. Yeah. Although I actually just saw the first one like
First,
really
so
really
good.
recently.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, and it still has fond memories.
It's funny, but it's not that long, at least in the first one. So they're basically kind of wearing just clothes,
Yeah.
Regular stuff.
regular clothes. So
Well, and it depends when it comes to Zombicide in particular. It depends on which season you're looking at, because
Yeah.
Right.
the
Well, I mean,
Black Plague
yeah.
sits during literally the Black Plague. You would imagine that as, except sorcery is a thing.
Yep.
And season 1 of Zombicide is you walk outside your door and apparently there's been a zombie outbreak. What am I going to do?
or,
While you were
your
sleeping,
neighbor from
apparently.
down the hall pounds on your door and
Right.
it's like, help me.
We have a problem. Zombicide season 1 reminded me kind of like Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead. If you've not seen
I
the
have
Shaun of the
not.
Dead, okay. So Shaun of the Dead. So now that you've seen Zombicide, imagine seen Zombieland.
I have
Imagine
seen,
British Zombieland. That's
ads
Shaun of the
and
Dead.
Such.
I'm gonna totally get reamed for that one, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Shaun of the Dead, but it is very British. And when you look at, because Shaun of the Dead came first, if you watch that and then watch Zombieland, you'd look at that and go, "Oh, it's American Shaun of the Dead." Like, so
So same vein.
it's one of those things.
It's
But
a thing.
season 2 of Zombicide is a prison outbreak. So instead of walking out your front door, you're in your jail cell going, "What's going on?"
Well, that
Everything
sounds awful.
Doesn't that sound
Yeah.
horrible?
Yeah.
No, it makes me think of I haven't read a lot of Stephen King, but Stephen King's The Stand.
Yeah.
When it's not zombies, but it's like a flu that kills almost everybody. Not a flu, it's some disease.
Right.
that kills
Some kind of a pandemic
almost everyone.
disease. Right.
And there's like one of the things that it focuses on is someone in a jail cell, and he's like, "Please, please, please, let me out! Like everyone is dying, and like I'm not
Right.
Like, and there's like one guard, like left.
Right.
He's like, "Just let me out!"
Right.
Like,
At this
so-
point,
because
what
otherwise
is
he
it
would just-
doing? Right.
He wouldn't die from
Sure.
the disease. He would die from just
Right.
being stuck in the cell and no one
Right.
would feed him or
And
anything.
no one feeling it. Right. Exactly.
Well, there was a strange twist on that in the TV series Last Man on Earth. But Last Man on Earth was I cannot for the life of me remember who all the guys that were in it, but it was one of the Saturday Night Live guys. It was on Fox, and there was a bit in there where another Saturday Night Live alum was stuck in jail. They started to find people scattered around because a lot of people died from a disease, and this guy's stuck in jail, and there's nobody else left alive in the jail but him. But it turned out he was the cannibal, and he had to convince the guard to let him go because, like, what am I going to do in here Well, I mean, nobody's left.
Yeah.
That's really
It was
weird.
really weird. It's a weird spin on that, but it's kind of yours.
That's
You look
bizarre.
out from the very serious, like what kind of decision are you gonna have to make in that? And then they take it to the comedy level, and it's the same decision except add the guy's a cannibal. Like, that became the comedic element to it.
That would be a bad idea if there was a disease, because I'm pretty sure that you would get it and you would then
Yeah.
die. That's a terrible plan.
Right?
Yeah,
Let's
well-
do anything else.
In that particular book, if you didn't get the disease, you didn't get the disease.
Right.
Right. You were immune to
you
it.
Were certain, but
Yeah,
it
certain,
would
yeah.
still, I think, be bad.
Yeah.
A spoiler for The Last of Us. That's what happened with Ellie. She was immune to the disease. So those that have seen or read or played that game, that's a thing that can happen. Anyways, Avital, do you have a board game you could envision as a role playing scenario?
So, I don't pick favorites on like anything, but
I think we've established that
Right.
this isn't about favorites. This is
No,
more
it's
about what we.
something interesting.
Yeah.
Well, but what's kind of funny is that you mentioned that Vanessa had utilized
Candyland.
Candyland, but honestly, like, I think like something like that would be actually really interesting to play in, like super interesting. Like, I can just imagine this world, like.
Would you be in Sugar Rush?
King Candy would have to be the villain. I am convinced that
He is
if
in
this Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Well, the guy who voices King Candy. Yes.
Anyway, but still, King
Yeah, I
Candy
know.
pretends to be the good guy, but he's actually the bad guy at the end. Which
Or everyone would think it was King Candy and it turned out to be someone else.
True.
But then you've got your Aladdin story. But anyways, continue.
No, but like it's just looking at the board game, like it's this. There's
All the different
the
lands.
different like locations and things
Yeah.
like that.
huh.
Like
Yeah.
honestly, that just sounds super interesting to get into. Like, it's been a while since I've actually played Candyland, but like,
I get it out. It's in
you know,
the other room.
why is there there's a gumdrop mountain and you know,
There's a
the-
river.
what is it,
There's
ice
a,
cream sea and like
there's a little blue river. I can never figure out if it's Jello or what it is that goes from one area to another.
Right.
But yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like whether you are playing like the characters that are on the board, you know, like the princess. Is it Lollipop? Princess Lollipop, I think. Anyways,
Just like, oh, it could also
and
be
the
a
little
gingerbread
gumdrop
man.
person and
Yeah.
all those different people. And there's
Gingerbread
even like
man
the
and-
guy that's in like the swamp thing, which I'm not entirely sure what that is made out of. But
We need to
it's
explore
something.
that area.
But just like going through, like, why is this land? Like, is this just how this land is? Is this a normal thing? Did something happen?
Was it
Like,
cursed to become
why
like
is this? Like
this?
made
Would-
out of candy? Like this whole land. But honest, now this is giving me ideas.
Well, it also
you could run
harkens
something.
right. It also harkens me back a little bit to Lance's session 0 we did, where he utilized all the Milton Bradley games for each of the different statistics we were making characters' ability,
Yes. Yep. Yep.
memory
Games
for
within
wisdom,
games.
which just warmed my heart. I didn't win, but I didn't care. It was still fun, but
I think it was too. But anyway, that's all right because it was it was great. It's a great
But yeah, you're right. I mean, each of those little worlds, it's almost like because with Lance's session 0, each person was from a particular land or world that specialized in the thing they were the oracle for, or whatever that was. Like, you were the person of strength and wisdom, whatever, and you had to succeed at that. Well, imagine that same thing with Candyland. Like, you are representing Gumdrop Mountain.
Right.
That's another way to look at it too.
I am.
She's going to write this. This is going to be her for the con game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
actually, I'm seriously considering this. Now.
yes. The evening has been a success.
I'll get to fear the con at the end, but
Yeah, that's a
You
fantastic.
guys will have to
idea.
tell me like
Yeah.
when you're running things and when you're not
Yes.
running things, so I know which slot to
yes,
put it in.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, I would. I would. See, yes. Mission
It'll probably
accomplished.
still be in Quags though, because
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to use Quags for the Doctor Who game.
Yeah.
yes, I have to
would
be in that too.
I know that. We'll talk.
You're gonna say
Doctor.
coordinate that. Yes, indeed. Yes.
Anyways,
She's so excited. I've done
like
well. Check.
That was a slash evil, not really, but totally excited laugh, whatever that was.
It was an excited laugh.
So yeah, but no, that's a really creative, neat direction. Yeah,
Just
I think
imagine
it's
what
so
all
cool.
of those Fear the Boot.
Yeah.
Those booters and whatnot walking up going, why is there candy laying on the table?
Exactly. Yeah, I can.
We
totally
have it.
see 'em.
Like someone who has Candyland, I have to.
Yeah. We've got it.
We've got it.
Yeah. It's one of Maggie's favorite games.
Yep.
So
Yeah, she just loves Candyland.
interesting. Do you have anything else to add to that?
Not at the moment.
She's like, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, man, yeah, exactly. If
ideas
anybody's
for
out there
that.
listening, she's like, hey, don't give too much away.
So, I got a lot of favorites. The Red Dragon Inn is a little bit on the easier side of things. Plus, there's a role playing board game coming out later next year by the team at Slugfest. And even with the Battle for Greyport, you kind of get a little bit of that, but not per se But going to the Red Dragon Inn or going to an inn is the start of every fantasy.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking around here, and a couple games that stood out to me, and both for the same reason, and I'm not even in the greatest at these games, are Lords of Vegas and Speakeasy Blues. Lords of Vegas was
Specifically what those are about.
well,
but
I'm going to
it's
explain.
great already.
Lords of Vegas
love it.
was a Mayfair game, and Speakeasy is Artana or now Genius Games. So Speakeasy, I'm going to focus on Lords, but Speakeasy Blues is literally you are one of up to 4 owners of a speakeasy that are
Same speakeasy or different ones?
they're different ones.
You're
And
competing.
you are competing to try and draw mobsters, performance acts,
Sure.
try and make
During
alcohol,
Prohibition.
moonshine
Yeah.
during Prohibition.
So that's illegal. So you got to be careful.
So the idea of having like a 4-person group of people, either one owning the speakeasy and having to deal with the other owners in town, or each of you being an owner, I thought would be interesting. Well, the same thing kind of applies to Lords of Vegas. Lords of Vegas is you're the owner of a casino on the Strip, and you're trying to grow your influence and size to be the most profitable casino on the Strip. And things like location matter, and where you're next to, and how many of these areas you control. And there's a Pathfinder scenario adventure path or whatever that was called the Kingmaker, and it's being redone for 2nd edition and for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And a lot of that was about gaining control and deciding who was going to be the king. Well, I see that as an interesting method for something like you are vying for the position of leader of this hotel. Or each of you are playing a role in this hotel, whether you're managing, then something goes wildly wrong. That's a fiasco game if I've ever heard one.
It is. I was going to say that would be an
Speakeasy
amazing
Blues,
fiasco.
similar thing, but the
Is that a fiasco scenario? I
What,
almost wanna
Speakeasy
play-
is?
A speakeasy?
It could be.
Like a 1920s speakeasy. That would be an amazing
Zach Lord can
scenario
get on
to
it.
play.
Sounds
Doesn't it?
fantastic.
Okay, that's the one I want to run if I ever have time to. I don't know how. I've
That'd
got
be-
children. I don't know how, but I would totally run like a Flapper 20s speakeasy fiasco game.
Sure.
Oh, that would be so
But
much
I mean,
fun.
both those represent kind of a general area control kind of board
Be the
game
most powerful,
aspect.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of competition in that, but on the same note, if you are playing opposing competitive hotels or speakeasies, but you're all impacted by the same thing, increased taxes, somebody's trying to take over the land. I mean, that makes me think of the movie Blazing Saddles. Wouldn't it be hilarious if you guys were the sheriff deputy and a few others trying to prevent, trying to help make sure Rockridge is saved? Like, that's a whole conversation, but both of those games kind of represent that. And it's an interesting idea. Can have fun with that one.
See, we're all going to give ourselves ideas about how to come up with
Could be
games
my
that.
doctor game. Doctor, whatever runs into these people that are trying to vie for control. That could be interesting. Anyways, well,
I've come up with something. We're going to have more fun with this than we thought.
exactly. Well, again, we were trying to keep this one a little bit on the shorter side. But I want to get, if we had another idea, I want to give you the opportunity to kind of share if you had another game idea.
Well, the one I went to, this is the problem, is I'm staring and going, and I just keep thinking of ideas. So the one that I think would be fun, but this is much more of an, I don't know. Okay. So I saw Sorrow of the Sea. And Sorrow of the Sea is, as you all know, a fairly basic but incredibly complex game because you're trying to get from one end to the other with these pieces that, as people lay them out, the path of how you get from one to the other changes, and you're trying to figure out how to get your boat where it needs to go. Well, anyway, that goes to like a seafaring adventure of you start here and you have a place you're trying to go, but you're not 100% sure how you're going to do that. So there's a ship, a captain, first officer, navigator, and maybe like the weapons guy or the gunsmith or whoever the weapons guy is that handles the cache of weapons on a ship. The security guy. I don't know what it's called on a ship. Yeah, I can see that being, because then you could be, I don't know if you could have, ship to ship battles with little Pirates of the Caribbean flavor. You could be, going into port as you're traveling, and then you got these interactions in port, and maybe you wheel and deal. Maybe somebody got lost. Maybe somebody got in a little bit of trouble. You could have a total fun doing like a seafaring adventure. It could be pirate. It wouldn't have to be pirate. But an idea of we're trying to get there and let's see what happens on our way to get there. So, I still want to play. I still have not played the Skull and Shackles Pathfinder Adventure card game. I still want to play that because it's the pirate one, and I still haven't played that one.
Yeah,
exactly. But that could be a really, So I think Sorrow of the Sea.
Do you just want to play a pirate game?
I think I want to play a pirate game,
Okay.
but sort of, yes, but
Nothing wrong with that.
And I've got other ideas, so if they want to try this again in the future,
Sure.
If we don't have ideas, we'll pull it out again.
Avital, you got any other options there?
I just like to say, I am turning around to look at the wall.
Right. I've never taken an opportunity to think about a board game as a game idea, and you certainly can steal it.
Well, Avital is thinking about it. I'm going to tail on to the Josh's idea of the Speakeasy Blues or the Lords of Vegas. What if then you ended up throwing the idea of Clue inside there? What if somebody died?
Totally just stole my idea.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally didn't know.
Go ahead. Go with it. Go with it.
I promise. I didn't know. This is
go with it.
But then one of them, unfortunately, came to an unfortunate end. But which one of you offed him? Or did none of you off him? Did he get killed by somebody else? So now you turn it into a mystery to figure out who did it and who's going to get his or her. Could be her. She could have gotten, killed too. Who's going to get their stuff? Who's going to take over their stuff? So I was like, ooh, Speakeasy Blues meets Clue. Because Clue is kind of was originally in that kind of time frame too. Wasn't it written in it was made in the 30s, I think, or the early 40s?
It seems to be set somewhere in that era.
It feels not quite great, maybe right before Great Depression, because Body's Mansion's huge, but yeah, I don't feel like we've been through maybe right after World War II. I don't know. Anyway, so I was just mushing those two together as I was stalling for Avital. And then I probably made her think, and then I distracted her. Oops, it didn't work.
No, I don't know if this is a thing or not, but as I glance at this, the shelf here, like an RPG of like the Oregon Trail.
Oh, yes!
I'm leaving.
I want this so badly.
We keep stealing his stories.
I want this
Stories,
so
his
badly.
ideas.
I'm sorry. Well, no, you're gonna have to do another one.
No, I got another one. I'll come up with another one.
But
Keep
Oregon
going.
Trail, I want to do that one.
Like that.
That's another one I would run. I would
honestly
totally run
sounds
that.
Really entertaining.
Oh, that sounds like a blast.
Because
Yes.
it like I can picture it being not like almost like a dungeon crawl.
Almost.
Sort of, but like it's you're not going through a dungeon. You're like going across the United States.
Instead of room to room, you're at like area to area, and there's something that happens in each area. Oh yeah, it's 100% a dungeon crawl. 100%.
Yeah, it can be like caves and bluffs, and you gotta, the bear's coming after you. It's not an orc; it's a bear.
And you
So-
literally could just draw a card and go, boom, this is your next location. This is what happens here. What?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Someone gets dysentery. What? That's right. Right now, you have to decide which one of y'all are dying. Discuss. Well, you're the idiot who did. Well, you're. Then it turns into an argument, and the
Maybe
GM
they get maybe they get a saving throw against it. Maybe they can pull something like a fort
throw
save.
versus dysentery.
yes, this needs to happen.
What's the DC for dysentery? New T-shirt idea.
Oh boy, that should be the established fact right there. What's the DC against dysentery? But these are all things I would love to run or I would love to play in. These are some great ideas. All right, Josh, we keep taking your ideas. You got one more?
I think so.
You want to wait and load or
No, I got it. That and I think I didn't spell dysentery correctly, but I'll
Oh, it's
fix it. Right now it looks like dysentery. I know, I'll fix it in a minute.
The doctor is very confused, but okay.
So I know there are lots of options that can come up and come out of this, and a lot of it has been kind of real world or a little bit of fantasy here and there, and I got two that I can think of, but one I'm going to stand on because I think this would be entertaining is the Disney's Villainous
Oh yes,
from Ravensburger.
yes. Oh yeah.
If each of the players played one of the villains, and they had to come together, and I'm very anti-evil games.
right.
I just am. I don't like evil games.
Same.
But Disney villains make me giggle. Most of them. Except Cruella de Vil. She can die in a lava tornado.
I literally just paused for 1 second. Just saw a little video about that, and it was it's this villain wants to do this, and Oscar wants
She's
to do
the
this. And
evilest
she's
of evil.
I just want to make a coat out of puppies, and all the other villains are like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you?
She's the evilest of evil. It's just so wrong.
It's so weird because it's. Anyways, please.
Even Glenn Close couldn't make her less evil.
Yeah, that took some doing, but
Anyways, but if they had to team up to do good, for the good, for example, all the villains against Cruella de Vil.
they were
I have my little organ. Anyways,
goodness. Yeah,
I think
it'd be
that'd be entertaining,
I agree.
especially if we had people who are really passionate about being particular villains.
Oh yes, indeed. I'm gonna say I can.
Right.
There's certain. I can just imagine someone who's like, "No, I'm going to be Maleficent. I will be Maleficent. Oh, okay.
Goodness,
I will
girl,
be
just
Jafar or
just
something."
Calm down.
Exactly, Maleficent. You just need to
Maleficent.
chill it out a little bit. Anyway,
right.
but interestingly, I mean, because the
started
show,
great.
Once Upon a Time, put stories kind of on their ears of what you
Yes.
thought who the villains were, and then, well, what if they did a lot of what if? Well, Villainous, you could probably play with some of that what if as well. You could probably have, and now we have the original and the 2 expansions, so we have
That's true.
options.
We do.
So-
Just Don being Hades.
Oh,
that'd be entertaining. Anyways. Well, with that, I think that was an interesting little quick episode.
It was fun.
I think it's got more foot to it later.
Yeah.
What, more feet? I don't know.
Well,
more
if we-
legs. That's what it is. More legs to it
Well,
later.
if we get more people around the table to talk, there are more legs with that.
That's true.
you
That's
know.
true.
There's only
But
6.
if anyone does listen to this and comes up with ideas of their own, I would love to see them on our Facebook page.
Definitely.
Check us out. But I did mention that I would throw out information about Fear the Con 2020.
Ta-da-dum. It is happening. It is a thing that is happening.
It is currently happening. As a matter of fact, go to Kickstarter to help back it, to make it become a better convention than it has been. Well, really, you're just helping. You're helping meet the things that they've wanted each and every year. Things like they want to lock in the date for the next year, possibly do a Fear the Fruit, which in the past was, they'd have fruit available all through the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the other stretch goals is catering wing night. So Worldwide Wing Night is no longer an assumed they're going to provide food as much as it is Mikey Mason's going to perform, but it's just called Worldwide Wing Night. But if they reach their $7,000 goal, then they will cater wing night. So they are as of this recording at 4512 out of 4,500. Con Planner is up. So get signed up, come support a good convention. And I believe it is the third weekend in June.
That's what we have on. It's what you have on my calendar. Have we
That is
confirmed
correct.
that with
Yes.
people who know things?
No, I know that it is definitely in June. It is 19th and 20th, 18th, 19th, and 20th of June. So, make plans to come out to Brentwood, Missouri at the Brentwood Drury to go to Fear the Con. And if you can, pitch in a little bit on the Kickstarter. I know that they would truly appreciate it.
Definitely.
So, on episode 205, we established, now that Gen Con 2019 is over, we look forward to next year. And our vision is 2020. I know. Just go ahead, give us the groaner. We deserve it.
It's a drone. Yeah, that's seriously drone.
But we're going to add some more groaners to that. Episode 206. We pose the question. So first, I think, for our fact, to pose the question, what is the DC against dysentery?
Give us your answer on Facebook. We would love to know. Because we don't know.
We do know that it is a death save. Thank you all very much for joining us. And we'll check you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Please visit us at www.theestablishedfacts.com and our Facebook page, facebook.com/theestablishedfacts. If you would like to support us by buying some merchandise, visit cafepress.com/castingrobot.
Bonus